The voicemail was still playing when I stepped out into the cool night air, her voice cracking through the speaker, high, frantic, almost unrecognizable. "Where are you? This isn't funny. They left the bill. They're saying, just call me back, please." Her panic washed over me like distant sirens, faint, irrelevant, almost soothing. It was strange, really, how quickly fear strips a person down to their truth. I could hear it in her breathing, the way she swallowed like she was choking on her own choices. But that voicemail wasn't the beginning. The beginning had happened 20 minutes earlier when she looked at me across the table, eyes bright, almost excited, and nodded along with her friends as they demanded I prove my worth by paying their obscene, brag-soaked $800 tab. She didn't defend me. She didn't even hesitate. She just smiled like she'd been waiting for this moment. I felt something inside me tilt, quietly, almost imperceptibly, as if the foundation of our engagement had been nudged a millimeter off-center. I didn't argue, didn't raise my voice, didn't even look at her again. I simply stood, walked to the bar, paid for my single drink, and stepped into the night. The freedom was cold, sharper than I expected. Her voicemail ended. Another began. I let it play. The truth is, her friends had always watched me like I was a contestant auditioning for the privilege of her presence. Every dinner, every outing, every quiet moment, they tested, measured, evaluated. And she let them. At first, I called it insecurity, then immaturity, then habit. But tonight, with that forced smile on her lips and the challenge shining in her eyes, I realized it was something else entirely. She wanted me to perform, to prove something, to play a role in a story she told herself about power and control. I felt the betrayal settle beneath my skin, not loud, not dramatic, just a slow, deliberate freezing of whatever warmth had once connected us. Maybe it would have stayed that simple, just another petty cruelty from people who fed off each other's vanity. But there had been signs before. Times when she forgot to mention who she was texting. Moments when her phone lit up and she angled it away a little too naturally. Nights she came home smelling faintly of someone else's cologne, but insisted it was the Uber. I didn't chase the explanations. I stored them. So when she sided with her friends tonight, so eager to let them judge me, it didn't feel random. It felt like confirmation, a pattern finally aligning. I started gathering pieces long before she realized I was slipping away. Not obsessively, methodically. Phone records, late-night messages to a contact saved only as M. Receipts from a boutique hotel 30 minutes from her office. Gaps in her calendar she couldn't explain without blinking too much. And a single text I would never forget. "He thinks I'm with you. Cover?" Her friend had forwarded it to me by accident 2 months ago. She apologized immediately, said it was old, taken out of context, not what it looked like. I said nothing. She mistook that silence for forgiveness. Meanwhile, I observed, calculated, built the quiet architecture of truth. By the time tonight arrived, I already knew the shape of the ending. All I needed was the right moment to let it fall into place. Her demand? No, their demand was that moment. The evidence arrived 3 days before the dinner. Photos of her and M. Him holding her waist, her leaning into him like a habit, not a mistake. I didn't react, didn't confront her, didn't even change how I touched her when she crawled into bed that night. I waited. Tonight, after her third voicemail, broken, pleading, I sent her a single picture from the report. No words. She called immediately. I let it ring. Twice. 3 times. Finally, I answered. Her voice splintered. "Please, can we talk? I didn't want you to find out like this." "I know," I said. "You wanted me to pay first." Silence. Breathless. Shattered. Good. She showed up at my apartment 20 minutes later, makeup streaked, hair shaking around her face. "I can explain," she whispered. "I know," I replied. I handed her the envelope. Every photo, every timestamp, every lie stitched together with perfect clarity. She stared at the evidence like it was burning her hands. "I made a mistake," she said. "We can fix this." I watched her. Calm, steady, detached. "You tested me tonight," I said. No, it was a joke. You wanted to see how far you could push, how much control you had." A beat. "And now you know." Her lips trembled. "Please don't leave." But I already had. I walked past her, out into the hallway, and for the first time in months, my chest felt weightless. Behind me, she whispered my name like a wound begging to close. I didn't answer. She had gambled with my dignity, my trust, my commitment, and lost everything. The night air tasted clean, sharp, final.